It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our flight. There is magic and mystery from darkness. Our friendship will rise. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight. Oh, get ready. It's Thursday night.
Last we left off, Bell's Hells, after chasing down Armand Treshi to Bassaris, finally located him and went into the Seat of Disdain, the fortress where he had been held. Upon absconding with him and getting caught in a bunch of chaos, you encountered the Legend of the Peaks herself, Otahan Thule, the war hero who seems to be tied up in this odd, ruinous business. Upon a attempted conversation turning into a fray, turning it into a bloodbath, 3 of your party fell dead, 2 of which were salvaged, and 1 who could not be. Laudna. Now, having fled, or seemingly banished for the time being, the individual that took the lives of your friends, Otahan, scattered somewhere to the 4 winds. You have Laudna's body. You've finished your business in Bassaris. You've called ahead via the sending spell to Jrusar, and with her body in tow in hopes of possibly bringing her back, should time and resources be with you, you called the sky ship, the Silver Sun, back, jumped upon its rapidly moving ladders up into the sky, climbed up into the air, and said adieu to Bassaris on the south end of the Hellcatch Valley.
I do.
So, climbing up on top of this familiar sky ship here in the mid-afternoon of the city below you, the warm, now not quite dust storm ravaged day around you, the heat and sweat kind of creeping down your armor and outfit as you all get on top of the wooden deck of the Silver Sun.
I'm going to quickly throw the, once I've climbed up, I'm going to take out the little hole that we've been having, finally flatten that, put it down on the ground, and pull our friend out, because I think he's had enough.
Fair enough.
See, it's all over now.
He falls onto the deck and Treshi's face hits the wood and you can see he's like...
No more hole!
Very well. So, where are you taking me?
Currently, Jrusar, the Spires, is that the talk for the moment?
For now. Worst ways to travel, wouldn't you say? Quite a view.
I'm actually, I'm kind of interested in you. I want to know about you. How did you end up in this fucking predicament? Where would you go if you got the fuck away from us? I mean, not necessarily specifically, obviously, because, if you do get away, good on you. Impressive. But what for? Why? What the fuck was all this for?
What the fuck is up with that?
What the fuck is up with that?
Hey!
I have no reason to tell you.
Well.
Oh no,
I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts.
Does he lack reasons?
Are you keeping your spell at bay or are you pushing?
I'm pushing. I'm not making it a secret.
Okay. Which things are you searching for within the mind of Armand Treshi?
His connection with Otahan, what he knows about the apogee solstice. If he knows more than he's telling us with all of that.
Okay. Since you'll likely relay this information to the troop, I will feel the need to whisper to you. So, relationship with Otahan. You see flashes of memories and moments, handshakes on behalf of others, discussions about installing the Paragon's Call. He had spoken a bit about wanting to use the Paragon's Call as leverage to better his position, his political position in the city. And the glimpses that you see seem to back that up. You do also see him signing ledgers, shipping approvals, occasionally paying off individuals to enable the movement of certain goods through the city.
Does he know where the the supplies are coming from? Does he know who it is that's sending the shipments before that he passes them along?
You push into his mind, and you recall meetings with figures from across the sea, coastal townships, enabling part of the Treshi House shipment fleet to take on a few extra cargo pieces. Every now and then. Over a few years. The name that gets signed on many of these ledgers for specific pieces of cargo, because it's a name you're familiar with, is Hexen.
Oh, cool.
The other thought, the other thing that creeps behind all this is a deep-seated fear of the people he's been working with. You see flashes of him feeling like he is rushing to be protected, fleeing the city, coming to Bassaris, looking to the Paragon's call for protection, for an opportunity to correct, repair. And you see him in his little, well-decorated, comfortable prison cell. You see flashes of tense conversations, of finishing the final shipments, promises that once the final bits of goods are complete and delivered, then the Paragon's call would be happy to correct this unfortunate public blowout.
What the?
And through it all, this sense that he knew that there was something behind Odahan's eyes, that he was worried that was going to be his final resting place. And a weird sense of relief that he's on this ship and heading back to Jrusar. And you kind of pull out of his mind for a second and have to get your bearings, because you've been in there for the rest of the length of this spell. But by this point, the rest of the crew is now fixing the sails up, pulling them wide, and as they billow outward and the winds pick up, the ship now takes itself in a deep northwestern direction.
I don't know, does anyone else need anything from this guy?
No. We should just say goodbye to him and let him take a nap.
Captain Zandis, do you have a room for our friend?
Mold storage.
Mold storage!
I think it's pretty good. Yeah, old storage.
All right. Hey, buddy. You're going to mold storage. Well, for the remaining half hour of the day's journey, since it is a half day, we don't have to roll for that necessarily, but what do you wish to accomplish before we move on to the secondary day of this trip?
Who's up? Which one are we heading first?
We do Hexen right now.
Are we doing this?
I can send a message to the Tempest, or you can, or...
Doesn't matter. But you're okay with us messaging her now?
Yeah.
From Orem.
Oh, from Warren, that's better.
I already
Shorter.
started it, so
Oh,
sorry.
she's going.
I
23
got it.
left.
found the assassins. Found lead. But there are questions. One of ours down. Strong ties to Whitestone. Please advise. Can you meet?
There's a brief pause before the clear voice of the Tempest returns on the other end of your spell. I appreciate your update. Tell Orem I've business in Vasselheim, but can meet shortly. Pick a tree.
Do we need to talk to Hexam? And if so, what are we saying to her?
Here's the thing. Armand has ties to Hexam. We don't want her to know that we are on to her business, right?
I'll also point out before we get into this that I have a surprisingly large amount of missing time that involves me specifically in her house, which I will admit kind of been fucking worrying me.
Elaborate.
Enhance.
I have one job
brain-
on this ship. It's stupid.
My memory's been a little fucked, and I was going to ask later tonight maybe if you would be willing to go back in again and take a look around, as clearly there's some shit missing,
Yeah, I mean,
and it's not pretty.
of course.
Okay. I say there's no hurt in just telling her we have a need, and we'd be curious to know what it would cost, but that's it.
Okay, I will send a message to Jonah Hexam.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm a little uncomfortable with that, but fine.
Hey, lady. Fresh cut grass here. Ashton has a friend who died. We're proud that he has a friend. Can you help bring her back?
Sweet little metal boy.
Well, that's a big waste.
What you ask is extremely difficult and against the nature of fate.
Boy.
Maybe.
Yep, that tracks.
I'll send another message back.
Oh, boy.
What would it cost us? Or what would you want in return?
What would you want in return? Okay, yep.
Ashton's very motivated. And I'm eager to please.
Fucking...
I certainly have a few ideas. Let's discuss, perhaps, over tea. What's the rush?
She's just gonna want you.
Well, that's very flattering, but
And you
if it
practically...
means getting Laudna back, maybe we should
We
consider
do
it.
not
Not
leave people
sacrificing her.
behind.
It's not a sacrifice. You could maybe give her my body, but keep my
We
insides.
do
or
not
something
leave
so we
people
can-
behind.
We're not going to gamble you to get Laudna. We're going to keep you and get Laudna.
Do not leave people the fuck behind. Not you, not Laudna, not fucking anybody.
Before we go, during that night, to just go outside, stare up at the night sky. From my own vision, anything weird seem off?
All right, so
Read that
during the night in which you are out picking up, you can see whereas Katha's like kind of high in the sky, at a fair crescent, you see the dull maroon sphere of Ruidus. It's kind of still arcing across at an angle, not quite a number of weeks away from the zenith, but you kind of look up and focus. You kind of feel the cold wind rush past you. You find yourself shivering. You hear a howl, a loud, arcing howl. In your mind, you're trying to figure out where that source could be. And the howl is yours, like beyond your control, like an instinctual howl in that direction. And you kind of stop yourself midway and kind of look at your hands, and you can see like the fur pushing past the fingers a bit. And then it's gone. Okay. On the second day of travel.
On the second day of travel.
On the second day of travel.
My GM gave to me.
A familiar shadow begins to creep on the horizon above.
Oh, we've
In the
bird.
direction you're traveling from. A darkened shape. You expect it to be a rainstorm? Pushing closer, the coloration and the shape doesn't resemble that of a deep thunderstorm. Definitely a storm. But the shadow and the billowing that continues to push out in front of it tells you another massive, far more dangerous sandstorm than the one that hit Bassaris earlier
It's too real.
is
Too
billowing in your space.
Too soon.
Bookending? Come on.
Yeah.
Faster than you expect.
Uh-oh.
Captain Xander's like, all right, everybody, hold on or go below deck. It's got to get real shitty. You can see Xander's begins to push low to try and get close to the ground, as close as they can get, so as not to be pulled upward into the extremely tumultuous kind of upper atmosphere portion of the storm. As the ship begins to get down to the point where you see dust being kicked up from just the wind kind of around it. It's keeping maybe a few dozen feet above the kind of cracked and dry, arid surface beneath you, right as the dark shadow begins to hit and wash. As it does, you feel the whole ship lurch. All right, everyone, hold on. If you got something to hold on to it. If there's something that's extremely worth holding on to and worth a lot, put it below deck.
Well, since I assume I'm holding onto a rope, and probably this is something that's kind of helping to keep the sails aligned properly, I'm going to burn a rage and just try and use the rope to pull the sail into the correct. Since I assume there's a whole bunch of people trying to hang on.
You pull, and all of you at once hear a resounding.
Oh shit!
You watch as one of the sails lurches and snaps in the center of it, and part of the top sail just gets torn off, sheared, and lost into the dust.
Fuck.
The shadow around you, the buffeting of sand hitting your face, stinging against your skin.
Oh, no.
The ship begins to turn to one side before Xander's goes, so somebody grab the other one, see if we can go ahead and break the other side. I don't know, try and balance it. Holy shit!
Is there anybody?
Is there another sail we can
I'll
throw
run
up?
over to the other. Yeah, because there's like one on each side, right?
There's two on each side.
Two on each side. So I'll run to the counterpart. I get in there and let my sweet pythons do the work.
With that, you can see the two other sails are beginning to bend a bit, and the ship, which was kind of like listing to one side, begins to right itself in the middle of the storm. We're gonna go ahead and ride a little low, just for now. And goes ahead and adjusts one of these levers on the side, and you watch the broomstone that is lodged in the front of the ship. The two kind of, actually, the two front central ones kind of dull slightly, and the ship begins to go down. And it was already pretty low, and now kind of skims off the sand, and the whole ship feels a lurching.
That's a hard deck.
And then gets down to just a few feet off the ground, and then rests itself.
Okay, I'm gonna raise my arms up and cast Calm Emotions
On the storm.
on the crew to try to like
Keep them level-headed.
keep them level-headed and make sure everybody's doing the job they need to and not freaking out.
Okay, great. You see now another buffeting of shadow beginning to push forward, and Xander's going, all right, it looks like there's not really much of a better direction to go but through. Goes ahead and now pulls the lever back up, and the front broomstone glows brightly. Pull on the sails! And you see everyone tugs in, and as it does, they kind of turn the ship and pick up the force of the wind that's blowing to the side now, and rides in the direction of the storm. It is extremely harrowing, but as you release your calm emotions, you can see the look of tension and fear on the crew's face begin to subside and turn into concentration. And with that, the ship, which feels like it's about to spin out of control, begins to move with it and use the quickly adjusting, shifting, buffeting of the winds on each side to move itself forward, kind of pushing through, almost ping-pong, almost pinballing its way through the middle of the sandstorm.
I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna stand behind Xandis and going to cast guidance on him.
Appreciate your help. I think we got it. I'm pretty sure we got it. I think we got it.
I love Xandis.
One heavy, dark, extremely powerful gust slams the right back side of the skyship, and one of the sails rips off
Oh fuck.
and is lost in the storm.
Is that-
I don't got it! Immediately, the skyship begins to...
Does that mean the two right sails
we're
are
in a
gone,
flat
the two
spin
lefts
on
are
the
still
sea?
there?
the broken sail, the half-broken one, is now gone.
Yeah.
All of you hold on tightly, quickly rushing over to grab onto something in the ship and dart out of the space around you to find something, some sort of mooring there. Fresh cut grass.
Oh boy.
You are unable to find anything around you rapidly to grab onto before you are
I'll
flung
hold you.
out into the dust storm.
Off the ship.
Wait.
Into the storm.
You go careening off into the shadow of this dust storm. The wind buffeting the side of your metal before impacting hard against a piece of exposed rock in the middle of the valley.
Oh, the one rock in the desert. Ow.
Zendis says, I have to do it, it's the only way! Pulls the ship up.
No.
A heavy pull up, and you hold on as the whole ship picks up at an extreme angle into the storm, cruising upward into the depths of the darkness. And it pushes up until it begins to lighten and lighten.
Oh, yeah.
And then emerges from the sandstorm just above. The ship rights itself a little bit, and you take a deep breath, Ashen. And you and the crew are the only people left right now.
Nebuchadnezzar breaks through the clouds, minus 4 people.
All of you take 34 points of bludgeoning damage
Okay.
as you all just scatter at different points of the ground below the airship. You all take in both the pain and the worry of being scattered about. And this brief, intense storm, within the next 20 or so minutes, passes over and gives way to a blue sky, which is a bit welcoming, though now you don't know where all of your compatriots are.
I would have immediately stopped the airship. We are not going anywhere till we find all of them. We are doing a full rescue. I don't care what condition we are in.
I'm gonna take out my pan flute
Oh.
and play some music so that I can be found easily.
Okay, cool. So you start playing the music, and you all can, all except for Ashton, can hear the music playing from above. In the interim, Ashton, the ship begins to head back down in an attempt to find out where it might be and where the rest of these folk could possibly be. But you all begin to kind of slowly gather and head in the direction of the noise getting louder and louder, the music getting louder. You glance around and you can see some of the shapes, humanoid shapes approaching, and at first you feel a bit guarded, but you recognize these are your friends. You're properly calling them to you.
Great.
You also notice that the area you're sitting in, it seems to be growing. Like the sand dunes around you are like shifting texture.
Oh no.
They're getting taller.
Oh boy.
Or you're sinking lower. You feel a vibration to the ground where your feet are kind of planted partially into the sand as you begin to.
Okay, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna try to hop out. I'm gonna mirthful leap.
You, with all your might, push out from the inside of this kind of conical, sinking space that you were in as you were playing your music. Music stops, you hold your pan flute, just leap and arc out to the very edge of the top. And as you land poof, in the sand, glancing back where you are, you can see these like large kind of claw-like pincers kind of emerging from the space
Go the other
where
way.
you're landing.
Walk back.
They begin to sink back inward. And the vibration of the sand begins to stop as the rest of you begin to gather, and you hear Fern saying this.
Stop.
Fern, you alright?
I'm gonna start. Stay where you are. I'm gonna start walking towards them and doing a weird walk. I'm trying to make my vibrations weird on the sand so that it doesn't. I don't know what I'm doing.
Your vibes are already pretty weird.
You begin to very carefully move and shift, and the rest of you kind of watching Fern do this. What do you do?
Very
Yeah, hold
confused.
very still.
The ground begins to shake once more. The vibration, you can see the sides of the nearby kind of dunes and hills beginning to shift lower and lower, and you can see the somewhat haggard wheeling of fresh-cut grass heading in your direction.
Stop.
I'll stop.
I think you should go around that area, trace my steps. Do you see my steps?
I'll try to trace around, circle around the back, and try to come up.
Follow the space there, and as you are about to reach where Fern is, the ground underneath both of you begins to lower.
Go fly.
I'm just gonna try to just take off and run towards everybody.
All right, I will too.
All right. You see them kind of move around and then both kind
Okay.
of vanish. just
I am
out of
going
sight.
to run as much as I can towards them.
Okay.
And as soon as I'm within 30 feet, I'm going to Misty Step myself to FCG.
All right. You appear right next to FCG. Awesome.
And then I'm going to cast Fly on him and,
Whoa!
All right.
and take off up in the air.
All right. Both of you
Effort.
begin to take off up into the sky above. Glancing upward, you can. As soon as you both look upward, you see the front bow of the Silver Sun heading in your direction.
I'm going to start sprinting in her direction and hoping my 26 passive sees any vibrations in the ground. I'm just going to get to her.
So you, at a very fast pace, kind of dashing over there, leaping over and landing in that space. You see Fern trying to climb up the side, but unable to find purchase in the ever-shifting, almost sea of sand around her. And below, you can see, kind of in the bottom of this conical trap, you see these large pincers beginning to emerge, and what looks to be this odd, almost like jagged-looking chitinous mouth begin to open up in that space.
Okay, I'm gonna like ski down the side.
Okay.
Under her legs. I'm gonna use bait and switch, a superiority die. When I get to her, I'm gonna yank her by the tail and swing her around so she's uphill and I'm downhill. I give myself 8 to my AC, and I'm going to jump in the air and plant my feet on Fern's back and do sort of like a rabbit kick. So you feel his 2 little feet hit your back, and I just go and shove you 15 feet up the hill, and then
suddenly
drop and wait.
You feel the burst upward, and you kind of tumble in an upward direction, kind of head over feet, until you crest over the top of the sinkhole that you'd stumbled into, and now can see all of your friends kind of rushing and gathering in that space with FCG and Imogen up in the air, and the ship now beginning to crest downward. While all of you begin to kind of push over to that space, you now tumble down to the bottom of this.
Okay.
And the giant pincers, which now you can see, at a quick glance, they look like they were just emerging. Now the rest of the creature is beginning to show this massive head. Each pincer is about 4.5 feet long, and as you get close, you can see this almost lobster-like series of jagged bone-like interior as it kind of rips open and attempts to crush around you.
My AC right now is 28 because of bait and switch.
Whoa.
Oh,
It
what?
comes down
I rolled an 8 on
to slam around you, and you pull your shield
Shield up.
upward, and it just gets stuck on the shield, and you feel it kind of begin to rotate and try and crush. As it does, you begin to see multiple long, thin tongues, like lashing out of the mouth, almost trying to reach and taste for you.
Don't like that.
Can I fly down and try to pick Orem up and fly back up?
You can. While you go ahead and start back down, realizing the situation, and you see Orem get grappled by this entity, and you're holding on. Your shield is wedged in there, and you suddenly feel Imogen rush down and kind of put her arms around you. But your shield is currently lodged in its mouth. What do you want to do?
I can't, and not without the shield.
I don't know if this will work, but I wonder if I could cast telekinesis on the shield.
Okay. So you clamber back up to the side of this ledge and look down. At this point, you can see FCG kind of still floating above, and you see the rope ladder now descending from the ship with Ashton climbing down quickly. You keep the ring at the ready, you reach down and cast telekinesis to try and pull the shield free. As you're holding the shield, Imogen's pulling on you, you're trying to look for any sort of point of leverage, and then you feel this like weird wave, this shimmering magical energy kind of move past you.
I got it!
Attaches to the shield, almost like this weird, watery, ethereal power, and the shield just
I grip the shield hard.
pulls outward with a heavy strength. Both of you just go tumbling back and out of the hole about a good 30 or 40 feet into the air before Imogen, you kind of gather yourself again, holding on to both Orem and the shield.
Wait, but where's Fern? Is
I got Fern. We're heading
Fern's on
towards
the
Fern.
rope?
We got
Okay.
Fern.
Don't you?
Yeah. As Ashton, reaching out from the side of the rope ladder, grabs Fern's arm. You're going with Ashton.
Yes.
With that, you both begin to climb up the side of the ladder. You
He's
feel
like
left behind at a good, like maybe 100 or so feet from the rest of the folk there, until you see FCG
Coming with another bus.
Inspector gadgeting his way in your direction.
Take my hand! I'll grip it, rip it, and shoot up into the sky.
As As you all reconvene back on the deck of the partially damaged, still mostly intact Silver Sun, it begins to pick up once more and head back northward direction. Xandis, at this point, goes, all right, just taking stock. Everyone's okay. Everyone sort of made it back mostly in one or two pieces, right? You good?
Relatively.
Do you have backup sails? Or
We got materials to do some
You do.
repairs on the way. Might cost us an extra day of movement, but we're going to do what we can.
Welcome back.
Well, a very eventful first full day back. You're getting the sense as to why a lot of skyships avoid the central areas of the Hellcatch Valley when it comes to...
What do you mean?
I don't know, just a hunch I get. But for the second day's journey, a storm is now creeping from behind.
Are you kidding me?
No. However, the adjustment in temperatures between the hot day and the cold that the storm brings end up pushing a heavy amount of wind behind you. Oh. All right, put the sails out. Let's go and see if we can ride this, baby. Make up some lost time.
Hey!
Go ahead and pull out the sails. And as soon as the first wave of wind hits, the ship just takes off at a majestic speed.
Yeah, majestic.
All of you also have to hold on, and you can see some of the bits of like loose cargo, ammunition barrels and things that are kind of bolted down and covered. Some of them kind of shift backward from the immediate speed, but you pick it up and you actually gain a day of travel.
Yo!
For the next day, the Hellcatch begins to leave behind you as you come over the familiar opposite side of the shelf of rock that drops into the broken valley, revealing the verdant jungles of the Odiran Wilds. And as you push through towards the later part of an afternoon on your final day of travel, you can see in the process of being lit, the burning temple top.
Oh, it's coming.
That is the Prakash torch flame, the guiding beacon to the city of Jrusar in the distance. As the sun slowly begins to set, bringing with it the darker purples and reds and oranges, the dappled clouds beginning to fall to a deep navy blue against the sky and horizon. The mist begins to rise up upon the jungle floor as the spires of rock greet you. The familiar home where many of you first met, returning to the city itself. The skyship, battered, beaten, but still standing, slowly comes in towards the skyport here in the Airy Spire. As it begins to adjust in, it takes a little more work, and Captain Xandis is like, get your things, batten down, and please, take care of yourselves as you get the fuck off my ship. And slowly the skyship comes to a rest against the docks of the skyport.
I want to throw our friend back into the hole, but I would also like to take our friend out of the hole if we're going to do that.
Yeah. I don't want him in there with her.
No, me neither. So, gonna go check on our prisoner.
He looks a little worse for wear and grumpy, understandably so, as the physical sense of the ship comes to a stop and a halt. And as you open the door and check in on him, he looks up at you. I assume we found our destination?
We have. It's going to be uncomfortable again for a little while, then it's probably going to be a little more comfortable, and then after that I really can't speak to it.
Wherever you're taking me, at the very least, make sure they put me under extreme protection.
I can't guarantee anything, but I have a funny feeling it's about as safe as it's going to get.
Positively useless.
I'm open the hole, and I allow him to step in. I'm not going to throw.
Xandis walks over to the rest of you as you kind of gather up here in the center of the main skyport. And, well, it has certainly been quite eventful. Hopefully we have a chance to do weird adventure and shit again in the future.
Thank you for getting us there and back again. Appreciate it.
And for saving our ass in the process.
No worries. Heads back up onto the ship to gather the rest of the crew, but the city is yours. Would you like to...
Head to the core spire as
Yeah, just head straight.
straight to, yeah.
Hey, Fern,
Yes.
I've been meaning to ask you, can I get that coin back?
What coin?
Boy, how do you deal with this? Maybe you forgot, but I gave you a coin to flip when you were choosing which one of our friends to let live or
right.
die.
You did give me a coin. Where did I just don't know where I put it.
I cast locate object.
Okay. It is very plainly glowing, muddled somewhere in a tattered clump of fur upon her
Where
head.
is it? I just don't know where it is.
I'll just grab it out. Oh, here it is. You must have just misplaced it.
You know what? I didn't realize that was the one that you were talking about. So
Oh, okay.
I was just playing with you. I was eventually gonna give it back to you.
When you take something from someone else, just curious, like, does it make you feel good?
Maybe
Also-
a little bit. Because sometimes something could go wrong. So I guess I do like it.
I think that's very common and normal. Maybe that's just good for you to be aware of, that you know why you do things and how often you do them.
Okay. I mean, I'll think on it for sure.
Okay.
Okay. Heading to Estras's side, so
Yes.
you make a beeline for his manor. You approach, front door is closed.
Knock on the damn door. I'm gonna glance at the orb too.
Okay. The orb is still dark.
Oh,
Okay.
we're knocking.
You knock on the door.
Appreciate the forward movement.
A moment later, the door unlocks.
On its own. I'll push in and slide ahead and see if anyone's on the other side of it at the moment.
Okay. You glance and look inside, and the house is dark. All the furniture and decor is where you recall it was, but there are no lights.
I don't like this.
I'm gonna send to Estros.
High fucking alert.
Okay.
Are you home? Or are you taken? We're here.
I was not certain if that was you. I'm upstairs. Stay where you are. This place is not meant to be traversed.
Eventually, down the stairs, you see a hulking figure, robed, cane in hand, Estros. Down the stairs to the bottom of the stairs, goes ahead and reaches over into one of the small alcoves in the side of the wall and turns an orb. And as it does, these taut strings, these cables that you saw across different walkways on each side, all wax and kind of just go to a bowing dangle. He moves around the middle of the room to the left-hand side, avoids the main walkway, heads over to the front door.
My apologies. Evelyn, I have given some time off. Follow me. Follow directly me.
And you watch him walk towards his study on the left, and he kind of like avoids the center of each hallway, and occasionally he makes a shift around and is like very carefully showing you a path to walk.
Wow.
He opens the study, opens the door, steps over something in the doorway,
Wow.
moves around to the inside, and goes ahead and moves a lever on the left of the like thick wall that leads into the interior. And when he moves the lever downward, something clicks above, and you kind of glance up as you see. And what you haven't noticed the entire time that you've been in this room is right above the entryway, there is a trap door. And as soon as he does that, you hear the click of something. The trap door kind of like shifts upwards slightly.
Cool.
Please step inside. We have much to talk about, I believe.
Good. I also have to unwrap your gift.
My gift.
1 second. I'm gonna lay out the hole.
Oh.
We brought you something.
Walks over, takes his aside.
Wonderful. Well done. There are two ways we can go about this. We can deliver him to the core citadel, directly to the wardens. Or we could take him to the Shande chambers, directly to Mistress Shashadri, who is the one who has been spearheading the investigation and has put up the funds for the bounty on his head. I'll leave that decision up to you.
Oh.
All I ask is, at least if you're going to Shashadri, say that we are friends of her cause.
I might be able to learn, I don't know, curry favor, or maybe they know someone who can help with
Maybe.
Laudna.
Have you done any research yet? Do you know?
What you are asking for is an extremely rare and difficult ritual. The ability to bring someone back from the dead is a very lauded and sought-after technique. In my connections here, I do not have anyone who is capable of this, but I do have connections that can possibly get you elsewhere, should you find someone who can. I have an old friend in the parlor of the collective in the Airy Spire who owes me a long unclaimed favor. Her name is Manaya Touré. She is an overseer of the city spire/treescapes and surrounding infrastructure. Her fierce sense of justice and strong connection to nature make her a trustworthy ally in my younger days. I've already reached out to her somewhat, knowing that I may be interested in calling this debt inward.
What would the nature of this favor be?
Translocation, I think. I have my own rewards for you as well.
Oh,
He pulls out a small, iron locked, footlocker almost.
Lockbox.
Lockbox, essentially, yes. Walks over with the cane still. Turns the latch open and sets it down in front of this little side table by his large, heavy-back chair. And looking inside, you can see it is just lined with platinum pieces.
Ooh, fuck me. Thank you.
Very good.
Well, I'll make one last pitch, but I'll defer to the group. The people that I want to go to for help, I trust with my life. The people in that circle, I don't know.
I would want to talk to your people first anyway.
Sounds like we have two options now. Either Eshros's friend can send us, or she can come here.
Or do you want to send out a message first? That's fine. with me.
yeah. What's easy to
Alright.
do?
I'll do it. We're still waiting. We still need your help. Is your business finished? I'm begging you. Orem is begging you.
There is a bit of a concerning pause at first, before she comes through once more. I'm sorry. I believe I'm nearly finished here. I'll see what I can do. I don't fully understand what's being asked, but I'll try.
Does she know how to bring someone back?
If she can't, she knows people who can. I haven't really trotted this out before, but when I lost my family on that day, we tried to save my husband and my father, my father-in-law. and something... It didn't work. Didn't work. Something about the nature of what they did when they struck. Didn't work. But I'm telling you that the connection between the Tempest and these people in Whitestone, I don't know, maybe there's someone here who can help, but Lana was born and reborn over there, so it's the best idea I got. Do you want to do something now here?
Yeah. I don't want to wait.
Let's drop the problem off. See what kind of noise it makes. Find ourselves somewhere to sleep tonight.
Can we keep Lana's body here?
There are fewer, safer places in the city for her to be.
Thank you.
If indeed Otahan is after you, do we know to what lengths she will go and with a call?
I think great lengths.
Yeah.
What is it they're seeking?
It almost feels like they're trying to open a gateway or a cage or something.
The call is.
Yes, Thule is. As well as, some powerful figures.
Someone from the Cerberus Assembly in Wildmount.
You watch the eyes of your orcish patron open with a look of realization and the first real bit of fear glimmering at the back of his stare as he sinks into the chair.
Well, if indeed the Cerberus Assemblies of Wildmount are involved, then this is far more tangled and dangerous than I had initially imagined. I don't wish to push you any further or involve you in things that may bring about further loss.
Whatever Thule's been doing is a long time in the making, years and years, and anyone in the Grim Verity, anyone who is pulling at the string on this thing and trying to figure out what Ruidus is earning up debt like the Loomis twins.
I think all of us are in too deep to pull out now.
God. Fuck you, Lauren Bailey.
Well, if this so-called Legend of the Peak seeks to find me, she will. I will not run. And there is no safer place than my home. I spent many years preparing for just this. I fear my influence is quite meager when compared to the growing scale of these happenings. But should you be inclined to continue to follow this Ruidus mystery, you have whatever support I can give you. This is more than simple local politics. This is Exandrian-wide.
We just need to get our friend back.
Okay. With what you have, you fill up the hole, and you head back out into the night of Jrusar. Climbing up the familiar spiral street towards the top of the core spire, eventually pass the initial gates that lead into the courtyard, to where beyond that you see the large marble, kind of white, light structure and series of halls and domes that make up the Chande chambers. As you begin to approach... Hi! Who goes there?
We come with tidings, secret tidings from Lord Esteros.
Wait here, I will inquire.
In his head, he hears, "We have her bounty."
They look at each other. Come with me. The guards turn around and start walking back towards the entrance of the chambers. The guards bring you towards the kind of a side chamber and asks you to wait. Clacking through the stillness of the night, the occasional wind blowing through before a door opens and you see emerging the familiar sight of Mistress Orlana Shashadri. She steps forward along with the guards. I have been informed that you have come to complete my bounty.
That is right.
Show me.
We're gonna show her
I
our
hop
hole.
down into the hole.
Well, you
Well,
can
you
just let her
show the
look in.
hole. Yeah.
Oh, well, I was just gonna arch him up.
Happy jumps in and then holds up. Treshi's like, ugh. She looks over. Hello, Armand.
Lord Estros sends his regards.
Very well. Take him inside. We'll deliver him to the Citadel in the morning. But for now, you know where to put him. The guards reach over and grab Armand and pick him up, and you can see his head kind of sunken, sullen. But he's not fighting, he's not bickering, he's not saying much. He's just kind of resigned to his fate and is dragged off back into the chambers directly.
Do you know anything about Odahan, Paul?
Paragon's call.
Very much so. We've had a few meetings here in recent months.
With Odahan? Or so?
At Treshi's behest. The Paragon's call's interests here were put on a halt when Treshi's deception was discovered. So,
One of their
they have no roots at the moment.
I wouldn't make ties with them.
Fair enough. You have done a great job in bringing this criminal and traitor to the city and the various Mahan houses to us. And for that, the bounty shall be yours. She turns and begins to walk back into the chambers. Mistress Shashadri returns a short time later with two guards that are both carrying opposite ends of a large chest. It's a two-person chest. They drop it on the ground. It is locked. And she hands over a key to whoever wishes to take it.
I don't
Sorry.
The bounty is yours. Thank you so much. Good night.
Well, we got a bunch of more.
All right, let's put the big giant box of coin in our hold.
I'll take the key and just...
No, wait,
Peek,
let's
just
split
peek
up.
it. Yeah, it's fine. Just peek.
It is filled with gold pieces and platinum pieces, scattered about with a smattering of silver, but no copper in there. It's quite a large amount. Amongst the coins, it roughly comes to about 12,000 gold pieces.
All right, so it's nighttime,
It is.
and we can't stay with Estros.
Fire by fire.
The classic,
We got a keychain for it. Let's fucking go there.
Fire it is.
Alrighty. Returning down from the peak of the central spire, you come to the familiar interior, the warm, burning hearth, to the welcoming inside of this tavern. All right. Well, the evening is yours. The rooms are yours. If you wish to eat and rest for the night to bring it to the following morning, we can do that, unless you have other business to attend to.
We're gonna snoop into your brain.
Yeah, let's gonna see. There's a lot of holes in there.
Okay.
All right, let's give it a try now.
Is there some sort of way to tap out if it's going?
Yeah, one of y'all hit my shoulder if he starts bleeding from his nose. As we cast this, I want you to think of what you remember from being at her house.
I remember the group of us. Zealand had opened the door, gotten through the first set of locks. Sally was heading first out, and we got into the room, and I remember seeing a solid flash. I saw one of those crates. I remember being thrown through a window. And I remember everyone panicking.
What happened before you were thrown through the window? You saw the crate. What happened between there?
We were in, and we got caught.
You both start pushing into that space. Pushing through, you see the imagery from Ashton's point of view. You can feel the weight of the hammer in one hand as it's pulled behind, the care in stepping through quietly. You flash to that moment as Ashton's trying to recall what happened, and you see the crates. You see two of them underneath a blanket pulled aside. Same shape, same make, same markings, though different places. You see one of them open. You see Ashton holding a crystal vial in his hand, the same ones that you've recovered. Right as you see the ground begin to glow a bright red orange, Ashton glances down and you see these runic sigils begin to appear around it before this high-pitched whine begins to streak through. And a detonation that flashes to white. And there's just a gap. Then the next thing you see as the white begins to fade back to color is a glance up at the sky, stars, and a balcony falling away to darkness.
All right, we've seen that before. Can we see anything before he woke up with Milo?
You push further. Imogen, you both kind of see this amorphous shape of a memory that's kind of drifting ahead of you. As you both step forward, Fresh Grass, you continue to push Imogen. You almost hit glass. As you pull back and look at it, you glance, and the glass almost resembles the weird speckled, somewhat cloudy crystal that fills the open wound in the side of his head. Fresh Grass, as you push beyond that, in the moment not noticing the separation between you and Imogen, you hear the voices of other people screaming, "Go, go, go! Run! It's Hubbard. He's dead. Leave him!" You see bits of the road. You see alleys and hear the dragging against dirt. You hear the echo of Milo's voice, familiar, saying, "Come on, come on, come on, come on." The fog and cloud takes over, and you pull back, and there is light, bright light, hurting your eyes. You try and focus, and it's an overhead, directed, hooded lantern of some kind. This is familiar. This is the top of Milo's table. You're looking up, bleary-eyed, blood-spattered, and unable to move. And Milo comes in, out of focus, looking overhead. Large glasses over there, looking about nervously. You them rubbing and cleaning their hands, firing up what looks to be, and you've seen it around the house, like a small forge that they keep. You lose vision. You come back in, and with the heartbeat, you feel a heartbeat. It's weird, you've never felt a heartbeat before, but in your chest you feel... The warmth is going cold, and the heartbeat is slowing. And you hear Milo's voice saying, no. I don't... Takes and begins pouring this bright, warm material, this almost syrupy, heated glass past the head. It hisses and steams upon impact. There's a moment, and while it's still searing hot on the side of the head, the pain is almost too numb to be pain. It's just sensation. As the steam fills, your eyes begin to go to blackness again, and you hear Milo go, no, Once this reaches and pulls something from the limp grasp of Ashton's hand as it drops out of frame, your hand. And that same vial, that same gray vial, pulls the top off and just pours it into the wound as well. The steam in the glass begins to turn from a bright white steam to a dark, gray, weird, tar-like amalgam that seems to turn to a floating, gravityless liquid before the steam evaporates. And Milo looks entranced to the right of your vision as the fading darkness begins to reverse. Imogen, you now stand before this glass watching beyond, and as you look at this weird glass-like structure that divides the two of you, you watch as the clear crystal-like kind of speckled appearance begins to fill with this dull gray coloration, obscuring fresh-cut grass on the opposite side. But there you kind of glance into it and you see stars. It looks like you're staring into the night sky, and as you kind of peer and focus, you push through the glass and feel like you're just kind of lost in an expanse of infinity. You see nebulas, purple and green clouds swirling. You look down and you see Ashton just lying there, motionless. There's a shake and a shift of color, and you see Ashton standing laughing. You see Ashton fully armored, clutching what looks like the bloody body of someone as he crushes them in their hand and throws them apart. You see Ashton destitute on the side of the street. You see them starving and asking for help. You see Ashton on a ship in the distance, pushing beyond a fog bank to unforeseen shores. You see Ashton wearing robes and some sort of a Senate seat, speaking to the public. You see so many different Ashtons, different, all held by a singular thread, but none of them the one you know. That's when your nose begins to bleed, and bleed a lot. You're conscious, you're trying to recall the memory, but for you it's like being caught in a loop. You remember it, and you explain what you're seeing, and then you remember it, and then you explain what you're seeing to the rest of you. You're just watching Ashton kind of replaying this moment over and over and over again.
I'll put one hand on both FCG and Imogen and say,
I'm at Ash with a cloth under his nose.
Do we feel it?
You at the moment are kind of lost in this chaotic moment, and it's beginning to shake more and more. And you feel a similar creeping fear of losing yourself like you did the first time you ran from the storm.
I'm gonna try to float backwards out of it.
Okay. Push grass. You turn around to look back at Imogen. She's not there.
Oh boy. I will, I guess, telepathically or mentally just sort of say her name or think her name.
There's no response.
Well, then I don't want to leave here without Imogen. Ashton said not to leave anyone behind.
I did.
I'll go back to the way we came and see if Imogen is there.
Okay. You go and walk towards the direction you came from. You hit the wall of glass.
Oh no, we're trapped in this fucking brain.
Welcome to Seen Elsewhere, motherfuckers.
I'll try to push through it.
You try and push the glass and it's not budging. And you turn and look around where you came from, and you're surrounded by glass, a funhouse mirror of fractured glass. Like there are just multiple fractured rooms around you. You can see the shapes, the jagged design that a cracked crystal holds, but in all directions. You're trapped, you're trapped, you're trapped.
I'll try to send a message to Imogen
Okay.
and just say, "Can you hear me? I'm trapped in here. Can you get me out?"
As you pull out of the space, you feel that unstable sense is almost like a boundary or a barrier that just vibrates around you. And as you kind of force your way through, it's challenging. And as you do, you hear the words of fresh cut grass, and you glance back from where you were coming from, and you see the space expanse begin to vanish. And you look back to where you were headed, and you see this series of crystal chambers imprisoning fresh cut grass.
Can I go towards him?
You drift over in his direction, and then place your hands on the outside of this prison.
Okay. Can you see me?
Hi.
We might have made a mistake here.
Uh-huh. Looks like.
How does Ashton look to us, Fern and I?
From what you can see, Ashton is still kind of repeating the phrase over and over again, and the other nostril is now bleeding, and it's like dripping off the chin.
Am I still Ashton?
You are no longer in the memory. You are just standing there. You look down at your hands, and you have Ashton's hands.
I'm also gonna cast command on Ashton
Oh, well,
if I
shit.
can.
You do that.
You needed to see the target of command.
Okay. Can I cast it on myself?
You are indeed an Ashton-based target.
Whoa, this is some brain bubble shit.
So you cast command on yourself. What do you
Yes.
command?
Awake.
As you look at your hand and make the command, your voice echoes. Awaken, 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 awaken. And you hear glass. The sound of cracking crystal begins to
I-
echo around.
Can I go look at Ashton's head and see if I can see anything that's happening?
You glance past the crystal structure in the side of his head, and as you look in, you can see gentle sparks, just kind of like the tiniest fireworks, just going off.
Which is normal.
Which is normal. And you swear you can see two small, shadowy shapes.
Shut the fuck up!
Tiny.
Weird snow globe.
What are you
This is
talking
so
about?
fucking weird.
This is weird.
My hands are Ashton's hands. And I look over my body. Do I have legs?
Yeah, you have Ashton's body.
I'm gonna just sort of flex.
It doesn't feel good.
It's disappointing. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to run. Does that feel okay?
Everything hurts.
Everything
Always?
hurts.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. And to clarify, there is strength, but there is pain. There is pain, but there is strength.
Am I even vaguely
try
aware
one
that something
last-
that like any of this is happening, or no? Is it just too far
We
in?
don't know what's going on.
I will say, you're suffering sleep paralysis. There's a weight on your chest and you can't move. You're present, you're conscious, but you're not in control.
I'm gonna punch myself really hard on the head, and I'm gonna rage. Just gonna give just really fucking smack.
Okay. While you do not regain control of your body, both of you begin to acknowledge that there is now a spreading consciousness
He's
from
waking
within, and you can hear cracks in the crystal continuing.
One more command.
You take 4 points of necrotic damage as you begin to bleed more from your face.
One more command. Wake up!
All the glass around you shatters at once. You are surrounded by thousands, tens of thousands of broken pieces of glass, crystal, and odd, strange, dark shapes. Both of you are pulled away from each other, your arms reaching out as you both vanish into opposite darkness. And at once, you're back in yourselves. Ashton, you begin coughing profusely and catching the blood from your face.
I'm awake too?
Breathe.
You're all
breathe.
back in your body.
Okay.
I'm gonna crawl forward and just put both my hands on the side of his face. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Did you find something?
A lot of really weird fucking shit.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, fuck.
That seems like it went well.
Ashton, I saw like every possibility of your life. All at once.
What the fuck does that? What the fuck does that mean?
I think you have, Milo put something in you that obviously they didn't understand.
Put one of these.
Yeah, in your head, and it connected you to some sort of pathway, some sort of river of existence. You're connected to something much bigger than yourself, and if you could learn to use it, harness it, master it, maybe it could help you. Maybe it could help you.
When I saw all the endless possibilities of his life, was it Ashton as they currently are? Or was it like with no
Damage.
damage? Exactly.
Now that you think back on it, it happened so quickly. Some were damaged, some were not. Some had normal skin.
Thank you. I needed that.
Do you feel any better?
No.
If,
No. Fuck.
The evening goes by. Eventually you all wake up.
Oh.
The following morning. Still sore, some of you mentally exhausted even through the night's rest, but for the most part, some of you recovered.
can I rewind to last night and use one of my sending spells?
Sure. What do you want to do?
I want to cast a sending spell on fucking Delilah Briarwood.
Ooh. There we go.
Okay. What do you say?
How do I bring her back? Tell me what to do. I'll do anything.
Whatever it takes. It won't be long now. I'm fading. And I'll take her with me.
Oh.
Are you retrieving Laudna's body, or are you leaving her with Eshtras?
No, we're taking her body. We have to take her body.
Yes, we go pick up the body.
Okay. Pick up the body. Are you heading to the parlors of the collective? Are you heading?
Yes.
Okay. Upon arriving onto the Airy Spire, it takes a moment to find the curling staircase that winds beneath the gondola station, following the signs that lead you down underneath it to this terrace that you've seen in shadow for the most part as you arrived at certain times of the day. But as you climb into it, this kind of large, sprawling balcony that pushes out from the rock beneath oversees the majority of the city's layout below. Asking around a bit doesn't take you too long to eventually be led to an interior forest that is kind of kept in the center of many of these smaller office-like structures. Someone eventually leads you to looks to be a female gnome. Visually, maybe in what would be the human equivalent of her 40s, but who knows how long that is based on your experience with gnomes and their lifespans. And it glances up at the lot of you. Hello, and can I help you?
Good morning. We've never met, but we have a friend in common, Lord Eshtaros.
Ah, yes. I remember him speaking that you were to be collecting on a favor, yes?
We're hoping so. We understand that you could help us with travel.
Yes, that was one of the options that was discussed. Do you know where you're going?
Give us a sec.
I'm gonna send a little message on to the Tempest.
Okay.
Are you in Vasselheim still? Because you're about to have some company.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to see where you are and met with some interference. Where are you?
Oh, shit.
I'll send another message. We're in the collective of Bodon, am I getting that right?
The very spot.
In Jrusar.
In Marquet.
In Marquet. How much do you know?
Okay. It's been a little while. Got it. That's all.
She says she remembered this place or something.
Orm starts scanning the trees around them, half expecting to see her walking out of one.
At this point, you see Manaya's kind of glancing about, a little impatient, like, well, if you do not know where you're going, you can come back later. Otherwise,
She said she wasn't in Vasselheim?
Possibly.
She wasn't
Say
there.
anything.
We're having a bit of a discussion.
This bright green light suddenly emits from the left-hand side. One of these thicker tree trunks. You watch as a singular opening, like an oval gateway, begins to tear through the bark. You hear the sound of the tree kind of creaking as it pushes apart and open. And there immediately greets you, stepping through this collection of extended antlers that bow down and open up as you see the flowing of long red hair that drifts past shoulders almost to the mid-back. You see a light orange dress that fades to a dark red burgundy to match what looks to be a mantle of thousands and thousands of autumn leaves that themselves drag across the ground behind as she steps through. A half-elven woman, looking a bit frazzled, but smiling.
Orm steps forward. Hail to the Tempest. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry to pull you away from what I'm sure is important, but we didn't know what else to do. Our friend fell, and she's special. She's someone that you crossed paths with once in Whitestone.
As you start to choose. Well, hi, I'm Keyleth.
Oh. Hi. We're Bell's Hells.
Well, come now. We need to speak with someone who can help you. And she turns and takes her staff and points it towards the tree that she exited from. The tree once again tears open with that loud, humming, but strangely warm sensation.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
And as it pulls open on the opposite side of this entryway, you see this beautiful open courtyard. You see numerous buildings across the way, along the streets. The roofs extended almost like reworked, long disused ships. You see trees and hills, and above that, on a hill, a castle, and the gentle falling of golden leaves that pass beyond the entryway. As you said, we haven't much time.
Come on, we have to go out quick. Nope.
Thanks for your office, Manaya.
Thank you for the tree. Rain check.
I didn't... What's going on? It's the last thing you see. She turns around as you all rush through this gateway. And we're ending the episode.
Oh my god.